Iowa football spring practice is just around the corner, just weeks away, and it feels like spring today. I'm recording this on February 27th. It's like 60 degrees and sunny outside with a little bit of wind. Typical spring day, even though we're still in the month of February. Hopefully this weather stays in place for spring ball, March into April. Iowa's going to have a lot of experience back, especially in the defensive backfield. We're going to talk about a particular graduate who's returning for a sixth year in just a second, and also kind of the impact on this room, what I expect this defensive back room to look like heading into not only spring, but into summer conditioning and eventually into fall camp. Before we do that, I want to thank Under the Kitchen, Randy Engel down in Mitchellville. You can check out his authentic Hawkeye artwork. Randy is working with a lot of Iowa Hawkeye athletes. He's got deals with a bunch of them, NIL deals, so you are benefiting not only a sponsor of this show when you purchase a print, but you're also benefiting Hawkeye athletes. Check it out. Visit Under the Kitchen on Facebook. You can also visit Randy's website. It's underthekitchen.square.site. That's underthekitchen.square.site. Also, Iowa floor covering down in the metro area, down in Bondurant. If you have any flooring needs, or maybe you're working on a tile shower, give them a call, 515-379-7000. See how they can help you with your next flooring project, or perhaps you're a DIYer or a contractor. Again, Iowa Floor Coverings got your back. Visit iowafloorcovering.com or call them at 515-379-7000. So, Quinn Schulte is back. No, this is not breaking news. This really isn't even news anymore. I've had some people writing me, where's the Quinn Schulte video? Why aren't you talking about Quinn Schulte? Here we are. We're talking about Quinn Schulte. And here's the deal. He never actually officially made an announcement that he's coming back. We know he's back, though. Iowa sent out kind of a teaser video with Quinn Schulte involved when all those announcements were occurring. And my guess is that Quinn Schulte is a former walk-on. My guess is that he just didn't care too much for the fanfare. He's an Eastern Iowa kid. I'm sure he is relishing the opportunity, though, to be back in the black and gold for his sixth year. And keep in mind, I mean, from an NFL standpoint, I'm doubtful that he would have been drafted had he chosen to pursue the pro route. Now, he would have gotten into a camp at 6'1", 210, and with a couple of years of really good experience. But you get another year at Iowa. I expect him to start. Now, you look at his numbers, these last two seasons combined, he's totaled nearly 140 tackles. He's had 2 interceptions and 10 passes defended. Keep in mind, this will be year number 6 for him. He's benefiting from that extra COVID year due to the 2020 truncated season. And I think I know some people were talking about, kind of wanting to see what's behind Quinn Schulte, and even the flash that we saw from Cohen Intringer in the Big Ten championship game. I think a lot of that hype from Cohen, although I think he's a good prospect, a lot of the hype came from one big play where he got back on like a 90-yard run where he tracked down a kick returner, managed to tackle the guy inside the 5-yard line. That kind of went viral, that effort play. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a really, really bright future, but similar to what I said when Iowa got Nick DeYoung back and people were critical, I think anytime you get an experienced 5th or 6th year guy, I'm with Kirk Ferentz on this, especially a guy who's seasoned as a starter and who has produced, maybe doesn't put out the best metrics. I'm sure he wouldn't have done great at the NFL Combine if he was able to land a spot there. But I think you take that opportunity to get him back. Now, that DB room is going to be quite the mystery box, because you lose Cooper DeJean, but you get back Xavier Wampa. You get back Jamari Harris, who also announced he's returning. So really a corner. You have Jamari Harris, Deshaun Lee, and TJ Hall. And I think John Nestor. The one guy I'm not mentioning, Devin Hilson. It's interesting, you go on the Iowa roster right now. Devin Hilson is actually back at running back, according to the roster. Now, that could be a clerical error. Have not confirmed that through communications yet. But as of right now, the clear corners that I see in place on the Iowa roster, Harris, Lee, Hall, and Nestor. At safety, you've got Xavier Wampa, Quinn Schulte, Cohen Intringer, of course, Sebastian Castro at the cash. And then you have some wild cards in there, like does Zach Lutmer end up being a corner, or is he a safety? Does Tegan Davis, the Eastern Illinois decommit from a little over a year ago, does he end up at corner or safety? Khalil Tate, I had kind of seen him as a cash guy coming out of high school. Might he benefit from one more year behind Sebastian Castro before he jumps to the league? Jackson Rexroth had also made a move over to linebacker. He's now listed back at DB. Again, assuming that's accurate information from the Iowa website. He went from DB early in his career to linebacker in 23. He is a walk-on. Now he's reportedly back at DB. I mentioned Devin Hilson. How about this one? This one maybe surprised me the most. And again, waiting for confirmation from the university. But Kyler Fisher, who we talked about a week ago, he is now listed at DB. Listed at DB, a guy who's played a lot at the Leo spot at linebacker. We'll see if he ends up playing some safety this year. I could see that happening. Where does he fit into the mix? I think he's probably going to be kind of a plug and play fill-in guy. And again, similar situation, former walk-on. I'm sure Kirk, Phil Parker, Seth Wallace, whoever gets him as part of their position group will treasure his experience and leadership regardless of where he's playing. And of course, they get Jalen Watson, a highly touted kid. His uncle is Fred Russell, the great Iowa running back from the early 2000s. Rashad Godfrey will also be coming in. Likely, I think, a safety. Those guys are freshmen, so they'll have some time to learn. But that's really what the DB room looks like. And I wanted to let everybody know, if you're watching this Tuesday afternoon, or maybe you're watching it after, you can always go back and watch content on YouTube after the fact. I'll be talking with Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. We're going to be starting with our position groups, starting with DB. So take a listen over to our Iowa Football at the Voice of College Football YouTube channel. 4:30 p.m. Central Time Tuesday for our live show. We'll be talking about the Iowa DB room leading up to the start of spring practice. Join us on Tuesday tonight, 4:30 p.m. Central Time live, Iowa Football at the Voice of College Football.